Hi, I'm Nick Green from Greenlight Electrical. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the frequently asked questions about solar panels on roofs. It's not necessarily about the space, and it really does depend on which direction your roof's facing. On a south-facing roof, you're going to need less space because you're getting more sunlight throughout the day. If your roof is facing east and west, we look to utilise more space because in the morning you'll really be getting more sun in the east. In the evening you'll be getting more sun in the west. Not if they're installed properly. So part of the MCS guidelines is we've got to make sure that the roof is structurally sound. We've got to make sure that the installation is going to be suitable for any wind loading, to make sure there's no uplift on the roof. And we've also got to make sure that, in heavy snow conditions, that's also not going to bear too much weight down on the roof. So a correct install is absolutely fine for your roof. It depends on the style of roof you've got. So some roofs are truss roofs, some roofs are cut roofs, depending on the pitches as well. So if there's ever any doubt, then we always would get a structural engineer to do a survey. Yeah, you do hear about people doing DIY installs. There's quite a lot of legislation around and regulations to make sure that they're installed properly. But it does happen. Some people do install them themselves, but that does limit you for getting paid for exporting any of it. So it depends. So as a whole, getting the actual panels installed on the roof can take sort of around about a day, but it depends if it's split over different roofs. Sometimes it will take longer. And then there's the actual electrical installation, which can take another day or so. But you'll be really looking at most installations will be wrapped up within 3 days. So shade can play a big part in the output that you get from your solar panels. So really, if you're in a high shaded area, there's devices we can fit on there called optimizers. Whereas traditionally, with a string inverter and solar, if one panel's in shade, that knocks out that same proportion of cells on the rest of the panels on that string. So really, it can cost an extra £100 a panel or so to put the optimizers in, but that will really make sure you optimize what you're producing in a shaded area. It's not really based on the size of the roof really. You need to look at your energy consumption profile. So I mean, if you're using 2,000 to 3,000 kilowatt hours a year, you're not going to need as many as if you're using 10,000 kilowatt hours a year. But really the cost of the scaffolding, the cost of the electrical installation is all the same. You might as well get as many panels on your roof as you can, because then if your consumption profile changes and you get an electric vehicle charger or you decide to go to an air source heat pump, you've got as many panels as you can fit and you're not going back and adding them at a later date. So really with the MCS standard, we're working on a lifespan of 20 years. So we've got to make sure that there's no degradation to the roof and that the roof's going to be fit to look after the solar panels for the next 20 years. Yeah, and this is a really difficult one and it's hard to prove because